Hey everybody, welcome back to Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions. I am your boy, the real Josh T. I will be your DM this evening, or morning, or afternoon, or any other time of day. With me, as always, is a wonderful group of players and friends that I have here. Everybody, if we could go around, starting with Evan, just tell us your name, who you play, and just because it's been a little bit, what would your character bring to a Thanksgiving potluck?
Okay, I like it. Hello, my name is Evan, aka Evbo, and I play Echo, the halfling monk. And boy, I love this little monk man. But man, what would he bring to Thanksgiving? I feel like he would bring a dessert. I would say a pie, but it would be like a sweet pie, but then also something savory. You know what he would bring? I think he would bring like an apple and cheese pie, like an apple cheddar pie. That feels right.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. If you aren't putting a little cheddar cheese on your apple pie, you are mostly correct. But you can try a new thing and have fun with it.
Wow,
It's actually quite good. Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll go next. My name's Jake, at JnJake, which you can see right here underneath my face. I play Vale, the Elven Fighter Warlock. And what would he bring to a Thanksgiving potluck? I feel like he would bring some kind of after-dinner cordial. Not a port, but some kind of... I feel like... Would he bring Galliano? Would he be that guy? It's really kind of gross. Maybe like a Sambuca, something like that.
Limoncello.
Lemon. You got to bring the limoncello. You can tell when this was recorded. It's around Thanksgiving. But yeah, I think he would bring some kind of after-dinner drink. But he would definitely try apple cheddar pie. Yeah, so I'll throw it to Michael.
I'm Michael. I play Mac, a halfling rogue, and he would bring two things actually. He would bring a keg, because yes, and he would bring old school lawn darts, because why not play a game that has a chance of killing somebody, you know?
Oh my gosh. Man. There is like 7 layers of Florida man confirmed there. Like it's warm enough for lawn darts at Thanksgiving. Plus the possibility of death, yes.
Oh yeah, you know, it was actually, we had some cool weather. Now today it wasn't anymore. We're back in the 70s and 80s and whatnot, but we were in the 50s for a few days. It was kind of nice, actually. 50s. It was in the 50s.
William Wallace killed 50 men. All right, Izzy, why don't you go?
On to Izzy.
Playing lawn darts.
So I'm Izzy. I play Melly. She's a divine soul sorceress and an ASMR, and she would totally just totally take over, be like, I'm hosting, and then anything that anyone else didn't bring, she would make. So she's doing the turkey, the stuffing, cranberry sauce from scratch, all that. Anything that's not covered, she's got.
Yeah, that
Right.
checks out.
What you just said, I mean, yes, that checks out like hardcore. Would she stress about it, or would she be like happy to do it?
I definitely think she'd enjoy it because she's got a big family, so she's used to it. But I definitely think like the night before, she'd be like panicking, like, is everything going to be ready on time? Everything's got to get cooked right. She's not going to serve any dry turkey.
She's burning all her spell slots on sending to see who's making what.
And I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but I just need to know because the last thing that you said out of what you would do, it kind of raises a question. Just players, you don't have to get into your character set for this. Cranberry sauce from a can, or like cranberry sauce. I'll speak for myself. Cranberry sauce from a can. I know. You all probably think less of me, but
Some like it in the can. I get it. I've never met a cranberry sauce I didn't like. So I'm good
I
either
would
way.
agree with that.
Yeah, I've done both. This year because I made it, I just used the can because it was easier. But normally Kim and I make it.
If it came from my grandma, then not from a can. Otherwise, can.
Nice.
No preference. I can take and have cranberry sauce, not a can, or no cranberry sauce. Like it's just a.
Izzy, I guess we already know your answer. Jake's doing the can.
Yeah. I like to be able to control like the sweetness to acidity ratio. And I really like things that are very tart. Not to say I don't like things that are sweet, but I like the tartness to overpower the sweetness just enough to like, make your mouth go all bleh.
You like the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Lets me know I'm alive.
We've talked about this before. Okay, awesome. Well then. Yeah, I mean that's all of us. We're doing this. If you're here, you probably already know JNJtabletop. JNJtabletop is Jake and I's love letter to anyone who has ever had any interest in tabletop RPGs and specifically D&D 5e. But for the most part, yeah, we do videos pretty much every week, and just try to give you information for how to make your game better, how to have some more fun, and potentially learn some new things. So definitely drop a subscribe. I don't know where you're watching this on, but if you could hit a like or subscribe or comment if there's something fun or interesting, we would appreciate it. Anything
True.
specific we should mention?
You might hear music from Michael Gelfi Studios. We got a little thing on the information bar down below. And probably in the description too. You should check out the description of the video because it's got all sorts of information like where you could find all the lovely people on screen now. And yeah.
Yeah, and
Other
also
than that,
check
like
out
Josh said, just subscribe.
TTRPGoverlay.com, which you'll also find in the description. There's a lot of cool stuff there, especially if you like the overlay we're using right now. All right. Well,
Are we gonna do the recap? What kind of tone you want for the recap? You want dark? You want peaceful? You want uneasy?
Uncertain. Uneasy.
Ooh, yeah, let's do that. Here we go.
I think that fits
Boom.
the vibe.
Yeah,
We want chandeliers.
you gotta get a chandelier.
All right.
You like steak? Try having steak under a chandelier. Okay.
Try playing D&D under a chandelier. Okay. All right. Enough of this. Now to get back to what you came here for. Last time on Ancient Relics and Hokey Religions. The group had fought a big giant snake thing, saved a girl named Maggie from said big giant snake thing, brought her back into town. She had a fever, seemed like she was in some big trouble. They brought her to a healer. From their perspective and their perception of things, it seemed like the healer didn't really know what she was doing. So Melly tried to step in and help, and it seems like she did help. Next morning, Mac and Billy, a young boy in the village, who had taken an interest in the group and their tales and their just fighting prowess and power, all that stuff. Mac ended up teaching him how to fight. So the two of them were out first thing in the morning, training together, practicing together, Vale watching, Echo and Melly still taking a little long rest. Suddenly, how did we describe this, Jake? What stepped in to the town?
It's been a little while since we played, but it seemed like some kind of giant snake, bear, humanoid creature thing.
Something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's something that was unnatural. It is really what you could say for sure. It had scales, but also looked like there was at one point fur and maybe still some there. Almost humanoid-like, but very snake-like and just massive creature. And this creature came into the village to do harm. Mac and Vale went into action. Billy tried to help too. Echo and Melly, after they woke up, sprang into action and helped out as well. And they took down this thing. And before it died, it gave you a message essentially saying Maggie belongs to Baylor. And that there's nothing you could do about it. And I believe that's where we left off. So, jumping right back into it, Mac, having just... I don't remember who actually slew the beast, but everybody was hitting it simultaneously. So, Mac, having just slain the beast, hearing this message, and watching Billy, he hit it. I mean, we don't know how much damage he did, but he hit it. Do you have anything to say or anything to do or anything? What does Mac do in this moment?
So Mac turns to Vale, and I assume even though I think you were shooting arrows, you're not that far away.
Within 30 feet because I used my Hexblade's curse.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like Baylor might be a problem.
I have to say I agree. We should probably check on Maggie.
Yeah, see if the condition has changed at all.
Is Melly outside yet? I think she had, or at least at a window.
I'm pretty sure Melly and Echo both came outside already, unless you remember differently. But
I think Echo for sure. I'm forgetting about Melly.
I think Melly used the last of her movement to like get so she could. I think she's at the door, like and like sees everything, but she
Yeah.
didn't actually do anything.
okay.
Or did
Vale,
she? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Vale would turn around a little bit and just be like, if he sees Melly, be like, I'm pretty sure you did cure her or heal her, or right?
As best I could, but now I'm worried that maybe there's something that might be deeply rooted. We should go check on her.
I think Vale starts just walking that direction.
Melly's gonna go too.
Billy wipes the blood off of his dagger and spins it around a couple times. A little bit less dexterous than last time because now he actually has adrenaline. And drops it, picks it up, and then puts it in his sheath. And he, while you guys are walking away, he's like, "What should I do with this?" And he like points to the body on the ground.
I would leave it there for right now.
Okay. All right. So, you guys go to the the home of Esmeralda, the healer. And yeah, I mean, you're able to go inside and what are you trying to find out what's going on with Maggie?
I think just to see if she's okay, like if anything happened.
Yeah, maybe she had some sort of weird reaction when the creature appeared or was destroyed.
So when you go in and take a look at her, as best as you could tell, she's she's a little warm, but not like as she was like fever, like really bad. Like Vale gave her the ice focus, and she was still struggling and still hot. Doesn't seem like that anymore, but she is still not awake. But I would say there's nothing, no like crazy reactions that you would notice and be like, whoa,
Okay.
At least that didn't have a negative effect on her.
Well, I think it's probably easy to deduce that there is a definite cure somewhere, and Vale just pats his bow.
Well, usually from my experience, one of the best cures is removing what caused it. But I don't know if we can find him.
When we found Maggie, there seemed to be some kind of ritual site. Kind of shrugs as he says that. There were runes on the ground, but because she was doing so poorly, I guess we rushed away. We probably should investigate that beast too.
I think that I might sit here with her for a little bit and see if I can't deduce anything further. I just
Alright.
worry that sometimes when things are connected intrinsically, when you kill one thing, it doesn't always necessarily mean that the other thing is released, but might also be damaged.
True. But at the same time, at least it won't be able to happen to anything else.
Mellie's gonna sit on the bed next to Maggie, and she's just gonna sit and hold her hand for a little bit.
Do you want to are you trying to find anything out, or are you just comforting her essentially?
Not yet. She definitely is gonna want to sit and meditate and see if maybe there's some sort of darkness that's like penetrated into her heart or something like that. Maybe like a curse that wasn't completely broken with the greater restoration. Like I know when she cast that, like there was something that changed, the fever broke, but Melly wants to see if there's anything stronger that's lingering.
Sure. For the purposes of that, why don't you... I don't know if this makes sense, but why don't you roll a religion check with your charisma modifier?
$18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure. So, yeah, as you sit next to her and kind of hold her hand, and it feels warm in your hands after having just come from the outside. And I feel like Melly also just has an aura of just coldness because of the whole vibe and the abilities and everything. Um, so her hand definitely feels warm in yours. Um, and you sit for a moment and just kind of think and do your thing, your ASMR thing, and let's see.
A different kind
Uh,
of spirit guide arrives.
Yeah, yeah, we had a visitor, the shepherd. um, he makes his presence known now because he bumps into things with the cone. So, anyway, as you sit and begin to just uh, meditate and do your thing and just try to figure out what's going on, um, you see like a almost like an X-ray. You open your eyes and look at her, and it's almost like like an X-ray type view, and you see a beating heart, um, and as it like as it beats. I don't know if that even came through, but as it beats, there's like a pulsing darkness, um, and you're able to follow it through um, veins and whatnot, and you see up at her neck there are these two um, small marks, um, almost as if like you got bit by like snake fangs. Yeah, exactly. Um, that there's just a like kind of like a dark discoloration on them, and based on like what you're looking at, it almost looks like that was the origin of this darkness that you're now seeing on her.
So is everyone else still there? And how long did this take?
That's the question.
um I don't know, we'll say like 10 minutes or so, something like that.
I'm
Not most of
thinking Fail would have left.
Yeah, Mac would have as well. As soon as you said that you were going to be staying with her, Mac was heading back outside to search the body to see if there was anything to be noticed or found on it.
Echo would hang by the door, basically, in case anything was happening outside, that he'd be able to, like, it's basically what they were doing before. I think, sitting just outside the door, staff in hand.
So just Mag and Vale left.
Mac and Vale left. Echo stood outside and stood guard, and Millie was inside.
Great. Melly is gonna try something kind of weird.
Healer, do you have shrooms?
More of that chicken soup.
If it'll make a difference. But yeah, all right, we're gonna go ahead and try. Do I want to do that one or that one?
That one.
Do you want to? Oh, never mind.
Okay, so Melly is gonna put her hand over the spots, and she is gonna do Dispel Evil and Good, specifically Break Enchantment. And I can read that for you if you would like.
Sure.
So, Break Enchantment, as your action, you touch a creature you can reach that is charmed, frightened, or possessed by a celestial, an elemental, a fae, a fiend, or an undead. The creature you touch is no longer charmed, frightened, or possessed by such creatures. So Melly's pretty much trying to dismiss whatever this effect is.
Okay. What does that look like when you do that?
So she's gonna put her hand, like I said, right where the bite marks were, and it's gonna look almost like crystals are forming in the air around them, like ice crystals, in like a fog. And they're gonna like swirl around and then concentrate, like right where Melee's hand is.
Okay. Yeah, I would say let's see. Hold on a sec. Okay. Yeah, so you see the discoloration on the marks as the crystal, like I imagine it's just what looks like ice crystals, and whatever is just a combination of the holy water and the powdered silver and iron. And as that kind of hits the mark and wipes away, the discoloration, it changes a little bit, but there's still a mark. There's still a noticeable mark there.
Am I still seeing her like through the x-ray machine?
No,
No? Okay.
that was like just the one-time thing. Or
I
not
was
like
gonna-
just a one-time thing, but it was like just a moment, you know.
Melly's gonna look over to Echo. Echo, I'm hoping that the connection between the two of them will be broken when we fight Baylor, but I feel like I've done everything that I can right now.
I think that you've done amazingly, Melly. And if it's going to take more than that, it's a pretty big ask. Though, I must say, I'm pretty impressed by that soup. I have a feeling that may be a little more effective than what you did, but it's, you're doing your best out there. You see, he can't really hold himself together as he's saying that.
Yes, the soup. We definitely should see if we can get some of that for the road.
Agreed. She seems to be doing a little better. At this point,
Definitely.
he's obviously walked over to take a closer look.
I definitely think that she's improving, and I know her fever broke, and there were some things that I noticed just now that seem to have improved with what I just did, but let's maybe catch up with the others and see what's going on over there. Melly's gonna turn to the medicine woman whose name she absolutely remembers.
You want to take a guess?
Esmeralda.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I had a cough normally.
Esmeralda, if anything happens, will you please send someone to fetch us? I know we're going to be heading back over to where we were staying. There was a creature that presented itself that Vale and Mac went to go take care of.
Yeah, she tells you that she'll send the information over, or send someone. She'll find you herself if she needs to, if anything happens. But it looks like the soup is already working.
And if you wouldn't mind maybe making an extra batch of that soup for us for the road? And then Melly walks out.
And then Echo walks out.
All right, very nice.
On our way back toward the other guys, though, he's just gonna mention to Melly. Couldn't help but notice that the magic you were performing in there was much more powerful than what you were doing before. And if that still didn't do it, it does make me worry a bit about what it is that we're dealing with here.
To agree, I don't know exactly what it is that we're going to face, but I have a feeling it's going to be quite a difficult road to defeat it, or at least drive it out.
If we can at least stop it, then I think we should try to do right by these people. That's really all I'm trying to say.
Oh. I know that the three of you are very capable warriors, so...
The three of us.
Really? Yes. All three of you.
The
Go out
four of
there.
us.
Oh, Echo. I don't know about that, but if you say so.
I do.
Well, then whatever it is that we find at the end of this path, it better watch out.
Echo's smile is very genuine at that. He nods very approvingly. And then Echo walks away.
And then we arrive at the place where we were staying.
We say this out loud.
Do you have a narrator in your head too? So weird.
What is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, Mac and Vale are checking out the body, and they just hear, and then we arrive at the building.
Yes.
So while that's going on, Mac, Vale, you two were both checking out the creature, right?
Yes.
Sorry, hit the wrong button there. We're good.
You were checking out. It comes back to life.
Above the stream deck. Yes. The zombie reptile snake bear human.
Not again.
So what were you looking for?
Well, First, I wanted to try to see if I could tell what the original creature was. Because I feel like whatever these doing, it's mutating an original creature. And I'm curious if it originally was a person, or if it was a snake, or if I can tell what it was. And then, does it have anything on it other than itself?
Why don't you roll? Gosh, I haven't looked at a character sheet in years. Not years, but give me one moment because I'm not entirely sure what I want you to roll to check that out.
There's a few paths there, I think.
I would say, you want to do nature or? I'm just gonna say nature. Why don't you roll nature and see?
Can we pool our resources? Can I assist him? Or is this
You
like
may.
a separate check?
You could assist.
It is a 22.
I don't know if I could beat that, so.
Okay. Well, looking at it, just the sheer, the size, the way the teeth still are, although it does have two like snake fangs, the rest of the teeth are very big and jagged, and it does have claws that a snake would not have. You kind of like rip a piece of the fur out and look at the fur that's still left on it, and I would say that Mac especially can tell that this was at one point in time a bear.
It looks like this was originally a bear. But I can't say that gets us any closer to Baylor himself.
No. Do you think whatever happened to this creature was starting with Maggie or something like that?
I'm thinking something along the lines. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was
not
the
exact.
same, exact, but probably some sort of transformation, an internal transformation. This may have been more to be an attack dog kind of a thing than whatever dastardly plans he has for her.
Yes. Josh, was there... Did we... I apologize if this is something we should remember, but... do we remember hearing, like, villagers or anybody saying, like, they knew where Baylor was or was hanging out? Like, no, right?
No, I don't think they said they knew where he was. They just knew the area where Maggie was last seen.
Where we were, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, Mac, if you could also just roll survival as you're checking out the body.
That is an 8.
Was Vale helping with that one too?
I mean,
know
if I
typically
saw him trying to do something, I would assist,
yeah, I would
but-
say it's kind of in the same. It was all in the same. Not like it was in the same check, because obviously it wasn't the same check, but like in that same moment. So if you wanted to help with it, you could.
Yeah, there's no reason why he wouldn't. So I mean, I could make my own check, or Michael, if you want to roll again for advantage.
I can roll. Well, that one was a 3, so I guess we'll stick with the 8.
Where's Melly when you need her? All right. I think at that point, Vale would take out his notes and he starts casting a ritual spell, which will take 10 minutes. But
And I'll just say from the survival check, you just noticed that there were cuts and bruises and marks on the creature that seem to have been there from before. It's not ones that you left when you fought it. And what are you using, Vale?
I am casting Phantom Steed, which a large quasi-real horse-like creature appears on the ground in an unoccupied space of my choice within range. I decide the creature's appearance, but is equipped with a saddle, bit, and bridle. Any of the equipment created by the spell vanishes in a puff of smoke if it is carried more than 10 feet away from the steed. So
while what are the components for that?
I don't have any. It's just verbal and somatic.
Verbal and somatic. Okay, that's what I meant to ask. Okay. So Melly and Echo, you start to approach, and as you approach, I like to imagine, yeah, you see Vale walking around a circle, doing his thing. He's raising his arms in weird ways and going like and stuff like that. But yeah, no, you come by and pretty shortly after you get there, Vale's phantom steed appears. And what does that look like? Because I think this is the first time you actually officially used this.
It is, yes. I like to think of, if you're familiar with I'm totally drawing a blank. What's the horse's name in Skyrim that you summon? Anyways, an owl horse. No, just a black horse.
Ed.
But named Ed, yeah, it talks now. But instead of red eyes like you would see in Skyrim, he's got the same color eyes as Vale. That teal, very vibrant teal look.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're barking up the wrong tree for Skyrim information.
Yeah, well, I should have known that.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, so Melly and Echo, you approach as Vale summons this spectral horse, and that is the first time that they've seen you do this, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's the first time you've seen him do this. Take that for what you will. Would you react?
Before the horse appears, Melly's gonna lean over to Echo. Echo, is Vale okay?
This feels weirdly normal, actually.
That's a deeper question.
But yeah, I think at seeing the horse appear, Echo's gonna stop and look like really excited, and then look at Melly. Like he'll get really excited, look and point, and then while still pointing, turn his head to Melly with his mouth open, and then whisper like, "Is that Isla?"
I think it might be. Is there any resemblance between the two?
No, I mean the eyes you probably would think would be the only distinguishing factor, but it is quasi-real, so there's something about the creature that doesn't feel quite like a horse. Like it's a horse, it's not a horse.
It's
Oh,
explicitly magical.
I definitely think that's Isla.
I don't see how it couldn't be, and I don't see the problem in getting attached to this right now.
Yeah, this all checks out.
Couldn't agree more.
You made a horse.
Oh, yes. I'm about to make another one so we can get a move on. And Val starts doing it again. It's gonna take 10 minutes.
That's cool. I didn't realize you could do it.
It doesn't say I can only do one at a time.
Nice.
Each lasts for an hour, so it's not a ton of time, but still, you can move quick.
Melly, did you notice any innate magical presence in the girl? And I don't mean something that would have been put there. I more mean just a part of her.
I don't think so. The only thing that seemed peculiar and not of a physical existence was darkness that was like pulsing through her body.
You think that's something you would have checked for? Honestly?
No, but
Okay.
that's the only thing Melly saw.
Okay.
I mean, we did use I'm pretty sure we used the wand to detect magic when we were with her.
Yeah. I don't think that would. I don't think
Oh.
that that would detect Melly and Vale. If someone used a detect magic or something like that. It wouldn't be like he took a couple levels and and Warlock or whatever.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know if that's a thing. Like, I don't know if magical users or healers can tell that somebody is a magical user or not. But I figured it would be worth asking.
We just sense it as we get near to each other.
This one's strong in the force.
I was gonna say, it works in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't either, but I didn't know if that if that was something that you thought you might have checked for, then we could talk about that. But if you don't think you would have checked for it, then I would just continue on forward with no, you didn't notice anything.
Yeah, no, I think Melly was more concerned with her health rather than seeing if she had if she seemed like she was an ASMR or something.
Right. More of if there's something invading her, not what would just be in her.
That makes sense, but it still felt confusing in my brain. Yeah, I mean, Melly didn't specifically look for it, like I said, so she said what she said just based off of what she knows.
Just trying to figure out what it is about her that Baylor wants. Or if there's something that makes her different, or if he's just determined because he decided.
And Vale be done with his ritual so he can say something. Okay. Another horse appears. Looks very similar to the other one, just more charcoal gray instead of black. It could also just be that she was out by herself. Maybe not specifically her, but she was alone. Or it could be something specific to her.
Well, it seems interesting that he would specifically come to fight us to say he's taking her back. I mean, it could just be a matter of ego, which we know some wizards can get a little ego-y here and there. Not talking about you, Melly. Or the skills that you can cast, Vale. I can feel the eye rolling from here.
The spectral horse just goes.
Anyways, these horses will last about an hour. So I figured maybe we could pair up. One small one, one large one per horse. He kind of chuckles to himself.
Mac, come on, let's get on this one.
No, oh, well,
You know, it's funny that he says that when they're the slow ones.
These horses are faster than most.
So are we.
I'm as fleet of foot as I need to be.
Touche. That'll be the fanciest thing I say all year. All right, let's go.
Melly is totally getting on the first horse, the Isla horse.
Yeah. Didn't even check this mare or stallion. I figure our normal groupings are Vale, Mac, right? Echo, Melly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
Sure.
works.
All right. Is Billy around?
Yeah. Billy's
Should we
been
tell him?
watching the whole time.
Yeah. Should we tell him to
Alright.
do something? He kind of just whispers to
Yes.
Mac. Okay.
Billy, and I know I've said this before, but it's even more imperative now, and you must follow this. You have to stay here. And it's not because I don't want you to fight, but it's because if anything else gets sent here, there needs to be someone to defend it while we go take on Baylor.
Sounds good. I'll stay there.
And I give him a nod. And then I put my hood up.
Should we drag the carcass away from the town? Or burn it? I feel
How
like we don't
large
have
is this
time
thing?
to burn it, though.
How big is this creature, Josh?
Creature? I mean, it's bear sized, you know?
Were you asking that in game as Melly, or were you asking that party as in
Oh,
just
sorry.
us?
Both.
Okay.
Yes.
I think the village can handle that.
I agree.
They're most definitely not helpless.
Before I go there, I'll make sure somebody takes care of it.
Thank you, Billy. I knew we could rely on you.
Good looking out.
And he winks.
Val smirks. And then I guess we're heading back to where we found Maggie. But this horse has a speed of 100 feet. It can travel 10 miles in an hour or 13 miles at a fast pace. I think we're cooking.
Would guess.
Yeah. And
I
for the
hope
last minute of
Isla-
its life, for the last minute of its life, it starts to gradually fade, which it says it gives you the rider a minute to dismount.
Okay, and it lasts for an hour, right?
Yes.
So you could travel 13, little less than 13 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything you guys want to do before you leave, or heading on in?
Max hood is up. He's ready to go.
All right, you got it.
Max hats mean business. When he's wearing his sleep cap, it's time to sleep. When his hood goes on, things die.
Got it.
He's got some sweet lids.
I love that. Okay, well, so you all start heading on out. Very fast paced, flying through the town, into the woods. A little slower through the woods only because, you know, if you go as fast as they can go, someone is certainly going to get hit with a branch. But in pretty much no time, I'd say like before the hour is up, or right before the hour is up, you get to right around where you needed to be. And you wanted to go to where you had the battle, correct?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
Good. Do you guys like fast travel there, or are you like, once you get to a certain area, are you hopping off and sneaking? Are you like, how do you approach?
That's a good question. Trying to follow if anyone feels strongly.
I mean, I thought we were just barreling on in, personally.
That's pretty much what you described. I just,
Yeah, let's do it.
Always
Let's charge
reversed.
right in. Nothing bad could happen from that, right?
So you charge right in pretty much as soon as you get there. The horses, you could tell that they were starting to fade before you got there, and they dissipate. And you're there at the location. There's tree branches down from your battle, and marks from where this massive snake Severus had ripped apart the landscape. When you look to where the body was, it's like you see like a snake skin there, and it's massive. It almost looks like it almost looks like a molting of the skin, how it's just kind of left behind, and there's no teeth, there's no blood, there's no bones or anything like that. It's just the skin. And around the other areas, there's the cut rope from where you had found Maggie in that spot. There's some runes all around. Now they were kind of dimly lit when you had seen them the first time. Now there's nothing showing, nothing fancy or anything of the sort.
Millie's gonna pull out the wand of detect magic and use it just to make sure they're not walking into a trap.
Sure. I need to get like cards for certain things that you guys use all the time, just so I know exactly what it is.
Do you want me to read it?
No, I have it. Thank you.
Okay.
D&D Beyond. I will say, I don't love digital tools and like ebooks like D&D Beyond and that kind of stuff, but sometimes it is very helpful. This is one of those times. Yes, exactly, Jake. Let's see. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. Alright. So I would say you do sense magic. Just what am I looking for?
The school?
Yeah, but there's a specific thing I'm looking for.
No idea.
What's the
spell?
Oh, I know what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. It seems like the school of like these runic things that are around are abjuration. I was looking for glyph of warding. It's not that that's what it is. It's just that I
was
feel
like, oh
that's
no,
the
please
most,
don't be.
Yeah, no, I think that's just the most similar thing to.
Yeah.
I don't know, like some sort of
Mm-hmm.
rune or anything like that. Something I don't know. I could be totally wrong too, because I don't know the schools like that. I'm not educated in that way.
Question.
Yes.
Does that mean it? So that just means that I can tell what they were. Can I tell that if they are potentially still active? Or is that like just like the lingering after effect?
I don't think that it would show you. Let's see, or anything. No, I mean, you just know that it bears magic.
Okay, so I don't know if these are still active or not, but their abjuration, these runes. So just maybe don't step on them to be on the safe side.
Who would do something like that? Mel just kind of. She eventually walks and starts to look at the skin of the beast. That actually literally was what I was going to have Val do until you said that.
So then I kind of just like ask Reggie in my head, do you know anything about abjuration magic? Or actually, did you say what kind it was?
I did.
You did.
Okay.
Oh, sure, yeah. What do you want to know?
And you be hurt by it?
Me specifically, or you, kid?
You. The dagger.
Nah.
Okay. I'm thinking. Mac is thinking about it, but
We're about a step away from the runes.
but he's not there just yet. So Mac does want to look around. What is there? Is there anything else? Like, is there any buildings or like shelter, caves, or anything nearby?
Paths.
Yeah, or paths.
Say there's no obvious paths or caves or anything like that, but you could roll a survival check.
Ooh, I want to do it too.
You might as well, because I rolled a 4.
Oh,
The only I
19.
see is my feet.
Plus 1, dirty 20.
I mean, you're looking around. It doesn't look like there's any specific paths in this area. I mean, you are kind of deep in the middle of the woods right now.
If I remember correctly, it was kind of like more tree paths how we got here originally. Like we
Like
were up in the
popping up.
trees when we were
Mhm.
getting here. So Vale is
Yep.
also expanding his search to kind of like I know it's daytime instead of nighttime, so he's I don't know if that would matter much for him with his devil sight, but like he's kind of looking around to try and this is where we came in the first time, and the other avenues that were just that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, why don't you roll I mean, you're up in the trees now looking?
I mean, if just for now he's on the ground, but like if he's looking up in any of the trees that look like, oh, maybe I should check that out, he would. But
And you guys are looking for like paths or caves or like that kind of stuff?
any other place to go, yeah.
Anything just seems out of the ordinary for what you would expect to see.
Okay. Yeah, both of you guys roll investigation as well.
Another dirty 20. 17 this time.
I rolled a 2. That's a 3. Is what that is.
Yes.
Mac is looking at the molten snake and
That
the
is a
lack
rock.
the lack of fangs there. He's like, ah, man, I could have made a knife out of that. I could have taken the poison. All right, so dirty 20. I feel like you just Vale goes into detective mode and starts looking around. And while there's no paths, right? It doesn't look like there's even like tracks or anything like that to follow. Everything was kind of pretty destroyed by your battle. Not that there really was a path to begin with, but there was just a lot of stuff that was trampled during that fight. So it wouldn't have really left anything behind. But you start to look at the runes in the area and just the setup of where she was and why she might have been there, and start to follow it to the opposite direction. And you see that there is there's a space in the dirt that I'll say there's a suspiciously, I don't know, the big rock and dirt that looks like it was something was pushed over it recently.
Vale's gonna cast Mage Hand and just start to move some of the dirt away with it and see if he could learn anything else by keeping a good 10 feet away.
Sure. It looks as if something heavy was pushed and it moved the dirt, and that that's what made the dirt look the way the dirt looks like.
So it's a really
dirt
big
and
rock
everything.
we'd have to move. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Essentially.
Okay. Val just calls the others over. Hey, check this out. Maybe we should move this.
It's gotta be the big rocks.
Yeah, I think the moment that Vale says that, Echo looks down at himself and then over at Mac and then back at Vale.
Val just starts to try and move it. Unless anyone like actively tries to stop him.
No one Max tries to help.
Yeah.
Echo 2.
When's the strong one of our party gonna help?
He's the strongest one. So he's like, no, you guys can do it.
She's a lady.
Every time.
Oh, Melly will help too.
Okay. So yeah, everybody make a strength check.
Just straight strength.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just straight strength.
That's a 4 with no plus modifier because I don't have one.
Goodness.
2.
It's fine. Echo's got this one. With a
Yeah.
natural 20.
Yeah, come on, I know. Hey, natural 20s for a dirty 19, right? That is-
Melly is a not natural 20.
Okay. And what was Vale?
a 2. Val and Mac are like, and Echo and Melly finally figure out where it is. We got this, Mac. We got. Oh, never mind. It's them.
So I'll say Phil and Mac are like pulling, and Melly and Echo go to the other side and
boy.
push, and it moves. And Vale and Mac, why don't you both roll
Oh no.
both roll dex saves to
Oh no.
jump out of the way.
I got a 15. That's not too bad.
If this is how Vale dies, this is the best campaign that's ever been.
Really, I get a nat 20 for this.
There you go.
It's a 20 dex 27.
Yeah, so both of you guys kind of realizing it's now moving towards you. You pop out of the way perfectly fine. Even if you failed, it just would have pushed you out of the way.
Vale
would've
looks
been
at Mac
embarrassing.
like, we are strong. We did that. Kind of gives him like a, yeah, good job. Little nudge on the shoulder.
There appears to be a dark and just damp kind of pathway covered by this. This is like a hole in the ground, and you see in with your devil sight that there's like a staircase kind of going down. Not like a nice like staircase, more like a makeshift, like there's stone and still dirt in between and everything. You know, whatever this is kind of built into the ground. Very natural.
Can I see the bottom of the stairs, or is it like keep going beyond? I think it's
Can't see the bottom.
120 feet.
120 feet?
I think I'm just
Yeah.
gonna double check.
120 feet, I'd say, yeah, you can see the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, 120 feet. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, it's better than regular dark vision. Okay. Well, if there's no other obvious avenues of ways somebody got here, unless they were flying, this is where they hang out. I bet you Baylor's down here. I see pretty well in the darkness. I can take point if we want.
Good with that. Looks dark.
Do we want to keep it so there's no light?
That works for me, but maybe Melly, if you stay back with Mac and Echo, you can guide them.
Yeah, I can do that.
Alright, so Vale then is going to try to be stealthy and just checking for traps and searching stuff and move on ahead. He will leave it up to their discretion as to when they join him.
I feel like at this point we know the pace that Vale takes when it comes to like looking for traps and stuff, so we would wait till, I don't know, not too long, but like enough so that way if there was a trap that he was disarming, like
If
we'd
he finds one, he's not. He doesn't have thieves' tools, but.
yeah, I don't think we're very far behind.
You're
Like
probably keeping him at the edge of your vision, right? At least.
yeah.
Good.
Please. Melly hates when everyone's not like within like reaching distance of her.
Yep.
All right, so you're moving on ahead, checking for traps, essentially.
Yes, sir.
You can open up Fantasy Grounds.
Ooh. I like it.
And I guess I should share. Well, is everybody in Fantasy Grounds? First question, because I don't think everybody is.
Oh no. I'm gonna just use the bathroom real quick, I think. How about that?
Don't
Super
stop
fast.
recording.
Okay. Don't stop recording.
Because we're gonna tell jokes about you as soon as you leave. Oh, that Jake, he
Oh
always
man.
goes and uses the bathroom.
There was this one time when my mother didn't eat meat for a really long time. And then she ate meat. And she was in the bathroom for a very long time afterward. And I don't want to embarrass Vale if that is the situation that is happening right now.
What'd you do?
Sorry.
Seriously, how did that on your face?
My notebook hit my keyboard and a whole bunch of stuff happened.
Hiding the big mustache energy for the big reveal.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm
stop
actually. Tell you what, I'm gonna go peek.
recording. Hold on to that recording.
So as we dive back, don't say so. As we dive back into our series on mastering the action economy, I've noticed that some of the most lopsided exchanges. I
was gonna say, how about that Super Mario Brothers trailer?
I'm actually very excited for that. Not gonna lie.
I felt like I was the only person in the world who thinks it's gonna be a good movie.
No, it actually is gonna be great. Jack Black put his whole soul into doing Bowser, and I'm here for it.
in the style of camp, absurdly exaggerated, artificial, or affected in usually humorous way, campy horror movie. Like comedy in Star Wars and like bad horror movies and like that kind of stuff.
Not like Call of Duty camping.
No, can't be.
Ah,
Yeah. Like if you animated, like if you took a tent and you put a face on it and made it talk, maybe you would name it Campy, you know?
I don't like this.
Chris
I'm here
Pratt is
for it.
over there like, hey, I'm Italian. How you doing?
But he's just like, he did like one of his lines like that. He's like, "Whoa, where am I?" And he's like, "Hey, let's go to the Mushroom Kingdom, Toad."
Recording again. What was I gonna say?
It's me, Mark.
Yep.
Okie
right.
dokie.
Leave it all in.
Vale, as you travel down this staircase, you get to the bottom of it. There's a little it's a little windy path.
Okay.
It just feels wet and musty.
Yeah.
Like it was built into the ground, like exactly how it is. There's a very like rudimentary stone path, like where there's just kind of just a couple stones just marking like a regular pathway. It's not like it's paved or anything like that or built up. It's very much just making use of nature down here. Why don't you roll, what is it, investigation to check for traps? I believe that's what it is. That or
Is that or
perception.
I'd prefer perception if you're cool with that.
Why don't you roll perception to find traps? Because that makes more sense than investigation, in my
Okay.
opinion.
All right. 7 + 5 is 12.
All right. You do not notice any traps at
There
this time.
must not be any traps then. Vale moves forward.
Okay.
I mean, he is trying to be stealthy too. I don't know if you want me to do that or.
Yeah, you can roll a stealth check.
4 + 8 is 12. Yay.
Yeah, you feel pretty stealthy.
I am not making any sound. Mac is like amateur.
So yeah, I mean, you continue down through this path, and you do actually, as you get to the corner where you're at right now, there is a bit of like dim light coming through past that curve. They're all right angles because it's a square map, but you know, like,
Yeah, I got you.
I imagine it's a little
Not exact.
a little more curvy.
So,
So-
go
I have
ahead.
Sorry, I have a question.
No questions at this time.
Oh
Yikes.
no.
I'm sorry, what's up?
Can Melly see Vale still?
Not when he moves past the curve, unless you start to walk down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's what we're
check the
doing.
wall. Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep him in your sight, you can keep him in your sight. That's like
That's the goal.
Okay, yeah, so you keep doing you could do that. It ain't no problem.
All right, Vale's gonna just keep going around until he sees anything of note. Really, I know that the dim light is there, but
Sure.
I mean, based on what the map looks like, he's gonna come up around here and take a look down this
Yes.
path.
Yeah, and that seemed to be where the light was coming from. When you get
Okay.
over to this area, there's like these kind of like glyphs on the wall, like on left and right side, where they just have like kind of like a glow of a reddish light.
Does Vale know what it is, or does it just look like the glyphs above?
It looks kind of like a lighting situation, honestly. Like not like anything super fancy or anything like that. Just looks like lights.
Okay. Vale's just gonna continue. I'm just gonna go down.
And I mean, I wanted to be following Vale. Is the
Down to
whole
here.
party going with him, or were some
Oh, wrong one.
waiting behind?
Sorry.
And especially once there starts to see dim light, I imagine Echo and Mac feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, and feel free to move your own character pog thing.
I cannot.
Where would
Would-
you like to be?
Yeah.
Well, if everyone else is gonna walk, cause like Melly was trying to like be like, oh, there's a rock to the left. Don't trip, cause they can't see. But once the dim light comes, if everyone just walks up to Vale where Vale is, then Melly will also walk towards, but not too close, just in case a trap goes off.
You got
Yeah,
it?
let's put Melly at the back. It's a great idea.
Actually, once the light situation changes, he kind of just Vale looks over his shoulder at Mac, kind of like gestures like, "Do you want to?"
Mac will start taking the lead,
Yeah.
and I would like to check for traps as I go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once I can see.
Yeah, Mac, why don't you roll roll perception?
That is an 18.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see any traps of any kind as you're looking through. Nothing. I mean, you're pretty accustomed to a lot of different types of traps. You don't notice anything like that. But as you approach what you're approaching, there's a wooden gate. Next to it, there's a kind of like hook looking thing on the wall, and it has a cloak on the hook. It's a brown cloak and a pair of leather boots underneath it. And the wooden gate, I mean, it's pretty large. Say it's about 10 feet wide, something like that. It goes all the way to the ceiling, and appears to have some sort of locking mechanism in the center. But as you get a closer look at it, it's not made of metal, it's made of stone.
The lock is made of stone?
Mm-hmm.
Do I notice any mechanism where the cloak is hanging up, like on the hook, or does it just seem just like a standard hook?
It seems like a standard hook.
Okay.
Is the gate like a solid door, or are there like, is it like bars, like a portcullis or something like that?
It's like a solid door.
Okay.
I want to try to open the door.
Sure.
First, first I want to see, is it even locked? Like, I know that there is a lock on it, but it doesn't mean that it is locked.
It does appear to be locked.
Can I try to pick the lock?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll your thieves tools.
That would be an 18.
Yeah, it takes you a second. Like, and when I say a second, I mean literally a second when you first put your lock picks in there, just because it does have a different feel than most of the locks you've worked with, because you're used to working with like iron or steel locks, whereas this is stone. But even though it feels different, works the same, you're able to pretty easily pick the lock, and you hear just a sound of a door unlocking as you unlock the door. The door is unlocked.
You're up, Mac.
All
You
right.
do you. You do you, man.
So on the other side of this door, what does it look like in here as I'm looking through it and the door opens? Like, does it look
Alright,
like
you
it's
open-
a house kind of a thing?
Okay, all right.
Or...
So you have opened the door.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I've
all right,
opened
all
the
right.
door.
Okay. um, so on the inside, it's still it's a little nicer than how it was on that kind of pathway that you had just walked. There are some wood floors, and you know, the walls are kind of actually built up, and it appears to be some sort of like workshop. There's or lab. There's tables all around with you know, pots and beakers and all sorts of weird looking liquids, and you know, this is someone's lab. Someone has been doing a lot of research here, a lot of experiments. On the far side of the room, bear with me.
Can I tell you, is this room even brighter lit then?
Yes. Yeah, I would say it's brighter lit. I mean, there's lighting in here, but then you also have some of the liquids themselves are giving off light, just ambient light in the room. On the far right side of the room, there is another door, and all the way at the end of the room, there's a door as well.
I'm gonna go ahead and go in.
I think
I
Val is
take
gonna
it
just
that-
come to the door and just step in, but off to the side. But he's gonna definitely have Overwatch or Mac, whatever he does.
Okay. Anybody else coming in, or are you guys staying in the other room, the hallway?
Echo's sticking with Melly.
Man. Oh wait, it's a new day. Right? We slept. Yeah, we slept. So
Yeah,
I
you
still
should
have-
only be missing a level 5, and I'm pretty sure you used something last session, but I don't remember what it was. So
It was sorcery points, but she gets them back after a
Okay.
rest.
after what rest?
Long.
Well, yeah, but last session when you guys I mean, when you fought the thing, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
We
I
did a long
want to.
rest.
I want to do detect magic. I just wanted to check to see if I
Oh yeah. Charge.
have one. If I have 2 charges left or just 1. Because I know I used it most recently with Maggie, but I can't remember if that was before we rested or after.
That was before you
It was
rested.
before.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Meli's gonna go ahead and do detect magic.
Sure. Yeah, there's tons of like alchemical concoctions and things of the sort. So pretty much, and like anything you see, like any of the liquids and beakers and all that kind of stuff that you see that have stuff in them, they're glowing for sure.
Is the coat and boots glowing?
No, they're not.
And does it look like there's any type of runes on the door? Like a pseudo alarm system?
There are not. I will say that the overwhelming majority of the school that you're getting is transmutation.
Transmutation. Melly will relay that to the group.
I mean, that does make sense with what we've seen so far.
Josh, we don't see anybody in the room, do we?
Right now, you don't see anybody in the room. Just y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna continue into the room.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, as you look through, you see various just different mixtures and some dead animals, in jars, some with liquid, some without. Well, like small animals, like kind of like rodents, a lot of them. And yeah.
Is this like a window or a door or anything across from me?
Across from you
hallway?
is nothing.
Okay. I'm gonna go to this. Is this another door or hallway?
Is another door or hallway.
Is this door locked?
It is not.
Before I open it, I kind of glance at Melly and Echo and kind of like nod for them to come closer.
Yeah, we'll do that. Well, Melly will. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for Echo.
Echo will. And then we went closer.
And then the room explodes.
Yikes.
So I am going to slowly and as quietly as possible open this door.
Sure. Hold on one moment. Okay.
And as the ungreased hinges deny that request.
Yikes.
And because I'm doing it slower, it just draws it out even more.
So when you enter this room, there are, or just open the door to look into this room, you see that the walls are lined with these large glass enclosures of animals and like large animals like bears and just large animals like those type sizes, in different states of just being messed up. Some of them are missing arms, some of them are just kind of cut up and messed up, One of them you see has scales on it, similar to the one that you had fought. They're all kind of in different levels of transformation, we'll call it.
Well, I would definitely say we're in the right area.
Vale just nods.
It's definitely very concerning. Are there any of them that look like the transformation is complete?
In this room, there are none.
I guess I'm gonna go and check this door here. I do want to continue checking for traps. I don't know if at any point you want me to re-roll for that, but
Sure. I'll say for now, you're okay. Why don't you? Well, so this door is locked. I'll say that.
I would like
And
to pick
you
the
know
lock.
what?
Oh,
Roll investigation on the lock as well.
investigation. That is a 7.
7. Okay. Yeah, this door is locked.
Can I pick the lock?
Yes, you can. Same thing. Roll thieves' tools.
The 7.
7. Okay. So, bear with me one moment. Oh, tabs. So many tabs. Yeah, so I'll say when you're trying to pick the lock, your lockpick kind of get one of them is like it's almost like it's stuck in there. Whether it's your fault or just something weird with the lock, it is stuck in there. I will also say that the lock on this door is stone as well. You would notice that.
I take it that means I can't try again.
Right now, it just means that it seems like pretty stuck in there. So if you wanted to try something to try to pop it out or anything like that, you would be able to attempt that.
Can I check the other door in this room? To the bottom?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this one locked as well?
That one is not locked.
Go ahead and open it up. See where it takes us. What have we here?
This room, there are it's a bunch of there's a lot of taxidermy looking things all over, but it's messy. It's like different animals have been kind of mixed together, so there's antlers on something that shouldn't have antlers. There's a goat head on a duck. Like it's all just it's just it's weird, you know. There's a lot of that, and then there's some like glass display cases that have various kind of flowers and plants and things like that, you know, from around the region.
And is that a window or a door off to the left?
That is a door.
And this place just gets creepier and creepier the farther we go.
Sure does.
I'm not even a bright person, and this is dark for me. I'm gonna go check this door over here.
Vale just kind of does like a fair enough kind of a look. And he
I'm
just
sure
follows a good
spot
5-10
that.
feet behind always, but making sure he's not alone.
Okay, this one is locked.
Before Echo and Melly leave the room, Melly's gonna turn to Echo. I don't feel right about leaving them here like this.
What do you think we should do?
I'm not sure. I know for certain that if we leave them here like this, they're going to be used for evil. I don't know if there's any way we can redeem them, but I don't know. Maybe there's a way to break whatever's happening off of them and they'll return to how they once were.
I think we can try. And if there's anyone who could do it, I think it would be you. But I don't want to leave them either, but I think we need to deal with Baylor first.
Just a quick question about those. And I mean, from my understanding or what I thought that they were like failed in formaldehyde, like stored to preserve them, not still alive in test tubes. I mean,
Yeah, that was what I meant by that. Yeah, they like.
okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. It's a real messed up way to decorate your house.
We should put up some nice posters or something.
Yep, just over each glass.
Wallpaper right over these.
A nice end table, maybe.
Should have quit while they were ahead.
No.
That reminds
It's
me
too
of a
late.
story.
All the animals that are in this room, they're also just dead? Just like messed up
In this
science
room,
experiments?
yeah, they're not. It doesn't even look like they're science experiments. It's like an obsession. It's like animals that were just killed and you know just messed with. You know, so you like if you really look through, there's a glass display with some like frogs and things like that, and they're all just, you know, there's snake fangs on frogs and it's just as if
Is this like basically like the room where like they just for like the person in Baylor like taxidermied them together to get an idea as to how they wanted to try to magically create these creatures, kind of a thing almost?
yeah, you could
Maybe.
definitely get that vibe from it. You know, it's I would say what you would pick up from it is that whoever did this thinks that they could do a better job at creation than you know God, and that's what's going on, you know? Like there's something wrong that they wanted to fix, that they needed to fix. They wanted to perfect.
So Melly is visibly nauseous. She doesn't get sick, but she's very clearly like her stomach is turning.
And roll perception, quick.
Me?
Everybody.
All right. 23.
I get to re-roll these.
It's a nat 20 for 28.
Nice.
I don't get to re-roll it twice. So,
Oh no!
so that means I get to use my brand new dice jail.
There you go.
Hey.
I think
Gotta-
that might be the first one that either me or you has truly had this whole campaign.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is for me for sure.
It's hard to
Oh,
roll
wait a minute.
a one as a halfling.
Is it? Because I'm no, there was that one clip.
Yeah, but it was like a two. I just remember
yeah.
you saying two. That tone.
I believe I rolled a 1 and then a 1 and then a 1 and then a 2.
It was, yeah.
It was 2 different attacks. Holy smokes.
Well, everyone with the exception of maybe Echo, who's just paying too much attention to the just disgustingness of what's going on in here, notices there's some sort of sound coming through the doorway on the right side of this room. And Mac, I would say with a natural 20, it almost sounds like snakes to you. Like a movement of a snake.
Do you guys hear? It sounds like snakes. Or some sort of snake-ish with everything else we've seen. Maybe we'll
There's
come
something.
back to that door. And we'll go through this one. As long as I don't break my pick in this lock as well.
Something to keep an eye on. Cool.
You have a spare set of lockpicks, right?
Yes. I am gonna try to pick this lock as well.
Go for it.
Oh, I used all my luck last roll. Oh, no, I did not. That is another nat 20 for a 24.
The universe is in balance right now. 2 1s and 2 20s.
But I do wish that these would have saved until wherever this fight may be.
Yeah, so you're able to get through the door, and in this room there's some bookshelves, various books on the walls, small table and a chair next to it. Appears to be like some sort of study.
Vale, once he comes into the room, he'll turn and see visibly sick Melly. And as she walks up, he'll just like put his hand on her back and just kind of rub it a little bit as just like walk her through a little bit, but give her like a reassuring nod.
Which door? Right or left?
Left. Unless you hear more snakes behind it.
Is this door locked?
Door is not locked. And
bathroom.
It is a
You get
bathroom.
a certain smell. Is it really?
Yes, it is.
That's fantastic. Oh, someone needs to use some prestidigitation in here.
Do I find someone sitting on the commode? No, I'm just kidding. Does anyone have to go before we go?
I went on the horse.
Ah,
Yes, you were sharing with me, Mike.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
He just chuckles and follows.
What?
I'm just thinking Dumb and Dumber. Just go. Just go.
Is this door locked?
That's warm.
That door is not locked.
Can I hear anything on the other side of the door? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's kind of like, so this room is another one where there's like a stone little pathway, and it's more like dirt, not as nice, not as built up. And then another gate.
And is this like, are all the have all the doors been relatively the same?
Yeah, very
Except
similar.
Okay. And can I open this door?
That one is locked.
I would like to pick the lock.
Alright, roll these tools.
That one is a dirty 20.
Yeah, you pop that guy open. And in this room, so you walk through. What are Melly and Echo doing? Are they following along, or are they in the other room?
So definitely following along. Melly wanted to glance at the books as they walked by, just to see what type of literature this monster reads.
It's all books on, like specific animals and anatomy and physiology and the Apprentice's Guide to Abjuration, like all.
So nothing out of left field. All pretty expected.
Yeah, all pretty expected. There's also a thin yellow book called Chimeras for Idiots, and one of them called On the Mountains of Madness. It's just a bunch of books. I mean, if you wanted to go through the whole thing, if you wanted to spend the time to do it, but based on just like the quick run through, it's all for the most part what you would expect.
Okay. One thing that I would like to take a moment to look for. Do any of the books in particular look more worn down than any of the other ones?
I'd say there's a I don't know that I would say any of them look like more worn down than others. Like you could tell that there's some there there are some of them that like on abjuration that is heavily used, and another one on bears that is heavily worn as well. But those two probably the most worn, based on just like the quick look through. But that's it.
Okay. Melly's gonna follow along.
Okay. So as you walk through into this room, you notice that it's just filled with bones, bones of all sorts of like humanoid type creatures and animals, and there's just bones all over. And as you start to walk through, begin to feel groggy. Tongue starts to swell. You start to become short of breath. And this is our normal time, right? I know we started a little late, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna pick up on their next session.
Yep.
I don't want my tongue to swell.
No, that's pretty gross.
Was it
Not swell at
everyone or
all.
just me? Or can you really be willing to answer that?
That was an everyone thing.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to do with going into that room.
It was like the opening of the door into the room. Like there's some sort of gas in there that is once the seal was broketh.
Yikes. Don't break the seal. You never break the seal.
The seal has been broketh.
But yeah, I mean it's just off the record. It's 10:08. Like we're 10 o'clock end, right?
Yeah, Kim
Okay.
just texted me too, so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not making anybody mad for.
Don't want
you
to,
know?
but
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Should.
I don't
Yeah.
want
Okay.
to end, but I completely understand. It is a
Yeah.
work day, and the next couple of days are gonna be the last 2 days of the month, so it's gonna be long days for me.
Sure. Okay. Well. So, everybody, thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for playing. We're gonna pick up on there next week and figure out what was going on and see if you guys could get out of this mess that you stepped into. If you want to catch up on past episodes, we have everything in the YouTube playlist, so you'll be able to find it there. Just check down in the links in the playlists and all that. Like, comment, subscribe. We got new videos coming out pretty much every week, and yeah, you can follow all these fine people on the names on the screen and in the description. So, see you on the next one. Everybody have a great day and be excellent to each other.